Hey, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co, and today I'm reviewing Tag Team from Scorpion Mask. Tag Team is a two-player deck-building auto-battling game. The general premise of Tag Team is there are 12 characters in the game. You're going to pick your starting two characters from the, well, not starting two, your two characters from those 12 characters, put them together, that is your matchup. Your opponent will do the same, now you each have your two characters. You will take their starting cards. Starting cards specifically have black borders relative to the non-black bordered cards over here. So there's one starting card per character, and you start your deck with those two cards put in whatever order you like. Yes, I understand that a deck of two cards is a very small deck. It's going to grow quickly. But you assemble your cards together, again in the order that you like, and then you go both play your cards right away. So we play our cards and we resolve those cards against each other. This player has the harder they fall. Now each card played represents the active player. This is a tag team. You're both fighting, but right now Wong is currently the active player against the Fey Folk are the active player over here. Which means Wong is going to place a concentration token on the Fey Folk, which is going to help him deal damage to them when it's their turn the next time. The next time he places one, he's going to place one. This specifically says place a concentration token. If your opponent already has one, you're going to attack that player with their power against them, which is actually not great against the Fey Folk because they're a support character, so their power isn't actually that great. But that said, right now Wong plays that. All Legends Must Pass basically says that if the Fey Folk are at 4 spirits, then they die. They die. That's what happens. This card right now basically says you might die. But the good news is that Fey Folk are a team of characters together, and they power up as they slowly pass on to the Great Beyond. But once all of them have done so, you will die the next time this card is drawn. That's the turn. We draw the next cards over here, we play them over here, and now we have Enrage. Again, active character matters because the active characters are currently the only two in the arena. So now we have Budvar over here, who because he's currently on his Budvar side, for context, he is going to eventually transform to this Great Bear over here. But right now, because he's on his Budvar side, he's going to proceed to attack. No, it's not true. He's not going to attack. He's going to raise his transformation token. So he raises that by 1. He's not attacking yet. He's just gaining a rage to be able to work your way towards transforming, at which point he's going to start dealing incredibly high amounts of damage if he gets there. The Twin Serpents is going to look at their token over here. The token's on the dark side, so they're going to strike Bodvar. They're going to do damage. That's an attack symbol, and it means you do damage equal to your power. All players start with power listed on their board over here, and that power can adjust. This is only the starting value. Many things can change those values as the game plays. Right now, Mephisto has 1 power, so his attack against Bodvar, the active player, is going to deal 1 damage to him. When any character dies, that team is defeated. You're trying to stop your characters from dying. But here's the hook. You kind of saw already how a lot of the game plays out. The hook now is each player is going to draw 3 cards from the deck. They're going to look at those 3 cards and add one to the deck, choosing where to place it. Your deck does not get shuffled, but I can place any card, any of these 3 cards, I can place it at the beginning, middle, or end of my deck. You choose where it goes, which will alter the order and structure of your deck, but the cards already in your deck maintain their relative order. Look at these over here. I could get Spirit Trance, which will help me get more power for Bodvar, and then if I'm being attacked, if you're attacked, I get to take 2 additional direct damage. Oh, Spirit Trance is going to power him up at the cost of being attacked. You know what? We're going to go ahead and take Spirit Trance because I know what's going on in the deck. We'll take these cards, we'll put it at the bottom. I should note as well, Twin Serpents, you're supposed to flip this to its opposing side, which means the next time it comes out, it's going to increase his power and not attack him. But specifically, because of the current order, I'm going to try to put this at the front of my deck, knowing that it'll pair up with All Legends Must Pass, where I won't actually be attacked. Now, I don't know the next card that they're adding, so I don't know how things are going to play out, but that's where I'm going to place it. Keeping in mind, each player chooses privately where to place it, so I'm kind of doing the logic of both players here, but we'll see what we can do. Over here, we'll take these cards over here. We have Entanglement, cancel your opponent's card. That could be good. We have Twin Serpents again. Twin Serpents, actually getting 2 Twin Serpents early on can help me rapidly accelerate, so I think I'm going to go with 2 Twin Serpents right now, because this, by the way, tells you how many cards there are on the deck. My starting card is Twin Serpents, but I have 3 of them, and again, getting a bunch of them can rapidly move things along. I think I'm going to put it directly after my current Twin Serpents, kind of because I want you to see how things play out, but who knows how I would have done things. The decks are then placed. Again, they are not shuffled. You add 1 card and choose, and then we repeat the cycle. We flip these cards. We have Spirit Trance. I'm going to gain 2 power over here, adding it to Bodvar's power, which is important because when Bodvar transforms into his bear, the bear's health is equal to the amount of power, so the bear really wants to power up before he goes. Now, if I was attacked, I would take 2 additional direct damage, which would not be good for me, but I wasn't attacked because I paired it up with All Legends Must Pass, hoping that would happen. We flip the next cards over here, and now we have Twin Serpents, where I'm going to accelerate my power for Mephisto, because when it's on the white side, we accelerate the power, and then we flip it to the black side. But again, getting 2 of them means every round I'm going to be adding a power and attacking, add a power and attacking. The harder they fall is going to this time add a concentration token on Mephisto, because again, you're always being mindful. You have 2 concentration tokens, and they go on the player who's the active player. We're going to draw the next cards. We have Enrage. Bodvar is going to accelerate that track again, because that's his mark over here, and the Twin Serpents will attack Bodvar, because on the black side, dealing 2 direct damage, not direct damage, regular damage to Bodvar, and that's the cycle. We'll do one more cycle so you can see this play through, also because it's kind of fun, and then from there, we'll go into the review. So we add more cards over here. We have Rune of Strength, which we could take, which adds a defense over here. The defense is probably a good thing at this point. We know that his current hard, ooh, that's hard. Adding to strength right now, and if success, I want to start blocking, but we also could do Ging Balance, block your opponent's attack, make your power equal to your partner's. That accelerates his power very quickly. After your opponent's card is resolved, move it from play, then remove this card from play. Oh, I think I want to do this. I think I want to slow down the Twin Serpent's acceleration, so I'm actually going to add this to the second last card of my deck, because the second last card, regardless of where he puts it, there's 2, ooh, maybe not actually, because he could put any of those. I'm putting it as the second last card. I think that's the best option, because that means unless he puts it at an exact spot, which is his second last card, then I'm going to be able to stop that card. But we're going to see what Bodvar does over here. I'm always choosing for them first, so I'm kind of giving them an advantage over here. We have Fear of the Damned. If your opponent plays their starting card, ooh, that's a good one. I'm not even going to look at these. Playing this one quickly is helpful. I'm going to put this at the end of my deck, because I know that's where the Enrage was. But Fear of the Damned basically means that you deal 4 direct damage if it's paired up against a starting card. It's a good early card to get in. It's not good late game. So we're going to put that out there. We're going to take our decks, and we'll do one more cycle, and then you'll get a sense of, well, I think at this point you have a sense anyway, but we'll get a better sense of how things play. We pair up the cards. We have Spirit Trance, which once again, against all Ultimates Pass. I forgot about that. I probably should have tried to add something to attack him, because that would be a big deal, even shifting the order. So that could have been a big deal over there. I don't know how much control I had over that, but nonetheless, we're going to give 2 power to Bodvar, which is not great for this team over here, because Bodvar is powering up very quickly. We go to the next card, the harder they fall. Paired up against Mephisto, what we're going to do is we're going to deal damage equal to Mephisto's power to Mephisto, and then remove the concentration token. So he's very good at passing back whatever was thrown his way, so a hard attack is going to be kind of passed back. If you have a high power, it's going to go right back in your face. The Twin Serpents, on the other hand, does mean that we are going to attack. We're going to attack him, dealing 2 damage, and then flipping the token to its reverse side. We're going to once again draw the next cards. We have Crippling Touch. After your opponent's card is resolved. So he's going to gain a power. We're going to flip the token, but now we're going to remove that card from play as well as this card from play. So we're removing them from play, which is going to slow down their power growth, which is important because we're trying to get Bodvar ramped up right now. Then we go to the next cards over here, and we have Fear of the Damned, which if your opponent played the starting card, and we thought that they might, we're going to deal 4 direct damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Direct damage cannot be blocked, and additionally, when you cross these little marks on your board, different marks on different player boards, we're going to gain a power because that's what that symbol shows. So power is still powering up, but if he's KO'd before he transforms, which seems likely, he will also go up over here because of that. If Bodvar gets KO'd before he transforms, that's going to be the game. That's kind of what you're doing over here. It's deck building auto battler. You're going to start with 2 cards. You choose the order. You add cards. You choose where those cards go. You go head to head and you pick the characters you're going to be playing as, and you play it back and forth each round, each game, like a full game with 2 characters. The box says 10 minutes. I would say, 15-ish minutes, but I mean 10 minutes is certainly doable. This is a fast-paced game of auto battling, tag team battling. I said auto battling already. Tag team. It's a tag team auto battler. That's what it is. Which brings us to a review. Thoughts, opinions, all of that things I like, don't like, can see others not liking, all of that. Starting off with what I like. This is a quick to learn, teach, and play game. Again, the rule book is like 5 minutes. The teach is 5 minutes. The play is 10 to 15 minutes. It's a very accessible game, and it's also a lot of fun because you pair up different combinations of characters. Pick any 2 characters and combine them, and that gives you a ton of replayability to the game, not to mention the deck building aspect also enhances the replayability, because most of the time you're not going through all their cards. I've played through characters that I've played multiple times without seeing their full range of their cards, which means every time I dive into them again, I'm like, ooh, that's a cool card for that deck. And that would pair up nicely with that character, so I want to tag team with those characters as I play. It also leaves lots of room for like tons of replayability, tons of expandability. A simple expansion adding 6 new characters would drastically enhance even further how much variability there is to this gameplay. The auto battling keeps things moving quickly. The decision point about which card you add and where it adds the mind games. There are certainly mind games going on here as you balance trying to play that mind game with the opponent as to, are you going to shift your order? Should I maintain the order? If I'm trying to misalign combine my starting card with your card that hurts me for playing starting cards, which one of us is going to make a change? Do we both make a change? Neither one of us? How do I get what I want out of it? So there's a lot of mind games going on as you go through it, and balancing the cards you add to your deck, both for their abilities, but also to be mindful who gets struck. Because if I know that you're dealing a 4 damage attack my way, there's several things I can do. I can try to add a blocking card. I can also even just shift up more cards from a different character. Wong has a ton of health. Adding more of his cards to the mix means it's more likely that when a strike comes through, it's going to hit Wong. The more cards you have from a player, the more likely they're going to be the active play at any time, and the more likely they're going to be taking hits. So you're constantly balancing the placement of the card, the choice of the card, and the choice of the character you add to your deck, giving you a lot of decision space for a game that only plays in 10 to 15 minutes. As far as things I don't like in the game, not a ton over here. If anything, I'd say the games are too short. Like, the games are too short because lots of times I feel like I don't even get to ramp up enough. Like, 10 to 15 minutes gives you a lot of playability in a short time frame. I almost wish to last, 15 to 20 minutes, that you can get a bit more out of it. And sometimes you do have matches that do last longer, but I'd say the vast majority are on that quick side, where I'm just feeling like my deck is powering up, and then I either kill you or you kill me. So I feel, if anything, it leans a drop too short. Again, no clue what expansions can add to the game as far as changing that in different ways, or giving you other things that are built on top of the game, but it's very fast-paced at what it's doing. It does have the advantage of being able to play multiple rounds back-to-back with different characters and, learning the ins and outs of them, but if anything, my biggest complaint is that I want the power ramp to be a bit higher, and the game cuts off a little short most of the time that I'm playing. As far as what I can see others not liking, balance is always a question in things like this. I have no clue if the characters are balanced or not. I can just say I've had fun playing the characters and balancing up different, or matching up different teams of characters to see how they go. But even just things like pairings. Like, the game gives you some starting recommended pairings. Like, Wong and Bodvar as a pairing, they work really well together, especially if you get the right cards out. Wong really helps support Bodvar. So are there specific characters that are too unbalanced? Are there specific combinations of characters? Like, if you're playing the game long enough, do you know that these two characters are a really strong tag team? And if you're not sure what you're doing, you might be facing off against with like two characters that seem good but don't really work well together. So, and that might come down to experience, but like, if there are certain pairings that are just broken, I have no idea. I just don't know. I haven't played this game enough to notice a clear distinction, but I'm always mindful of those kinds of potential problems, especially as you play it more. I'll say that the mind games of where to slot your cards, I like that in this game, especially because of how quick it is, but I can certainly see people not loving it. When you're playing that little wine in front of me game of like, well, I place it here, you place it here, you'll shift the order. No, but then I'll shift the order, so I know you'll do that, so I won't do that. Some players find that concept frustrating because there's no clear right answer other than just an infinite regression of mind games. I personally enjoy it, so I don't mind it. As far as final thoughts on Tag Team, this one surprised me. I was very interested in this game, like just from the art alone, the premise and the concept. Ever since I first played Challengers, I always said I wanted a auto-battling game that felt like it was more than what Challengers is. I think Challengers were a good start to adding auto-battlers to the tabletop space, but I always wanted more, and I feel this is the time that I've gotten that. Like, I've really enjoyed playing through this game. I think Tag Team is very well done. It's a very well done, fast-paced, easy to play. It feels like it really captured the essence of what an auto-battler game should be, both in the variability of the play experience as well as the balance of decisions and then going into the non-decision space. They really knocked it out of the park overall. You do have to know what the game is. It is on the lighter side. It's not a super heavy strategy game. There's a limit to decisions you have over it, and it can be a little shorter, which are things that hold it back for me, but they really did an excellent job with it. For me, rating-wise, I'm going to be coming in at a 4 out of 5. I really like this one. I could see my opinion growing over time, especially depending, like, if expansions add more than just new characters, but also new layers to the gameplay, I can see this moving up a notch even further in how much I enjoy it. As it stands, though, I think this is an excellent game for what it's trying to be. As far as other game recommendations, I mentioned Challengers already. Challengers, I believe, was the first game that did auto-battling in the tabletop space. I've enjoyed it. I think it's good. I think it's a little bit more work and complexity for what you're getting out of that lack of decision space, but I still think it's a fun game that I've enjoyed playing. And if you want a two-player head-to-head game where you're going to be comboing up things together, but having a lot more agency in it and a little less of the auto-battling, check out Nexus. It's not a game that's out yet. It was recently on crowdfunding, but you can still late back it if you want it. And of course, if you're watching this in the future, it may well be out. But that also has you kind of pairing up two different factions, but there's no auto-battling. It's purely about the decisions you make as you play. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you found this review helpful, and as always, I hope you have a good one.